Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to George Zulius Field here on the campus of Plymouth Regional High School as we get set for this NHIAA quarterfinal matchup in Division II as the second-seeded Bobcats play host to the seventh-seeded Generals of John Stark. Hello, everyone. I'm Dan Salzer, soon to be joined by Mike Courier, getting ready for kickoff here. A few minutes left in warm-ups. Crowd still filing in. A overcast day. Hopefully rains will stay off, but who knows what's going to happen. So we take a look at the scoreboard so far for this quarterfinal. We see on the official NHIAA website that St. Thomas had that 21-7 win over Sanborn. The score hasn't been updated from the Souhegan Bow game, but from our research, Souhegan running over the Falcons 54-6 last night for their 7 p.m. kickoff. So the winner of this game will advance to take on Souhegan in the semifinals next Saturday. If Plymouth wins, they will be hosting the semifinals here at home. And again, that'll be a big rematch that Plymouth would love to win if they get there. You can't look past the Generals here today, but boy, it's a big one. Look at some of the stats for Plymouth. You look at Luke Diamond, so far. He's 25 for 43 this season. Completion percentage of 58 with 653 yards, 8 touchdowns this year. He's been really strong. Passer rating of 72.6. Rushing, leading the way, Gabe Keane, 681 yards this season through the 9 regular season games on 51 carries, 4 touchdowns. And really, you look at things, there was 1 2-point conversion, Caden Mansell, but out of all of the running backs, you look at the 9 of them that are listed on the stats, thanks to NH Sports page, all but 3 have had at least 1 touchdown this season. Robbie Thorne, Ben Valenti leading the way in touchdown. Thorne with 7, Valenti with 8. Also, Luke Diamond has some 6 touchdowns of his own, Keene 4. But you go back to receiving, and it's been kind of hit and miss at times. We saw it in glimpses last week against Sanborn. Jackson Rainier, we saw his one-handed catch late in the first half that set up the field goal attempt. Unfortunately, Plymouth missed it. But a fantastic receiver. He's able to kind of play that slot role, able to really work outside with his speed. He gets some nice separation. Then you go back inside. You got Robbie Thorne on that dunk over the top against Kennett here at home in the night game. Keene has been everywhere all over the field. So you've got a lot of talent out there for Plymouth here today. Again, see that standings going in. Plymouth warming up on your screen right now. About 3 minutes to go here in warm-ups before we get ready for the coin toss and national anthem. Hard to judge on the other side for the likes of John Stark. Can't really find too many stats. Tried to reach out to the coaching staff and Ray Kershaw. Never heard back, unfortunately. So their stats aren't really fully up to date. All it says is just 3 games for their players, so can't really read anything off of that. But this is a team that has had some big wins over the course of this season. Up and down, of course. You love to have home field, at least in the first round. Unfortunately, that's not the case for them. But they're in a very tough division. I mean, you're in that West Conference here in Division II. You look at their record, you only had 3 losses, and yet you're a 7 seed. That's how tight Division II is this year. You've had the tough loss, 48-0 in Week 3 at Pelham, always difficult. Pelham came in undefeated. Then you battled it out at Sanborn and fell 23-20, and then you lose on the road at Sauhegan, last weekend to wrap up the regular season, 46-12. So all of your losses have been on the road. That's why home field advantage is so critical for all these teams here this year. But you look at Sanborn, Plymouth took control of them last week, and then they fell last night at St. Thomas. So it's hard to judge what the competitiveness is going to be. Both coaching staffs, have done their due diligence in scouting and getting their teams ready for this matchup. Again, Plymouth enters today the 2nd seed, the winners of the East Conference. Their only loss in that blemish, that 49-6 loss at Sauhegan in the pouring rain back at the end of September. Everything else has been just dynamic wins for the Bobcats.
We at PRHS and the NHIAA understand what an honor it is for student athletes to represent.
Turn over to the public address announcer now.
Please be positive in every aspect of the game. Sportsmanship from players, coaches, and fans.
And Tony Torino, get the pre-game announcements.
Today's game.
And as we have those, just saying sportsmanship to the fans below us. So glad you could join us here on Pemmy Baker TV, channel 1302 here on Spectrum Cable in the Plymouth area. Also live here on Facebook and YouTube. Wherever you're watching from, whoever you're rooting for, hope you have a nice warm beverage in hand. It's getting a little chilly, even though it's still beautiful for the beginning of November. I mean, I can't remember it ever really being this warm for a playoff game, but nevertheless, beautiful day for football. Plymouth going to get ready for it. They'll head over the sideline, and we will get ready for the coin toss as the captains will meet out at midfield. Again, you see just great atmosphere here from our backup camera, showing you as much of the field as possible. Plymouth State University playing at home today as well. A lot of action happening over there.
The officials for today's game: referee Dan Moylan, umpire Miles Arnold, lines Ken Mako, line judge Sean Moynihan, back judge Brian Sullenberger.
See if the captain's making their way out to midfield. Will Foisey, Brennan Johnson, and Tyler Dekatowski, captains for Plymouth. Generals will call the toss. And it looks like Plymouth has won the toss. So there you have Plymouth going to receive the kickoff here to start the game in the north end zone. And we will get ready. We'll turn it over for the national anthem before we get kickoff here this afternoon.
Today's anthem will be performed by the PRHS Pep Band under the direction of Mr. William Gunn.
Great job, as always, by the Pep Band. And under the direction of Will Gunn and his national recognition as of late. So Plymouth, again, will receive the kick after winning the coin toss here to start this quarterfinal matchup. And Plymouth needs to get off to a better start than they did last week here at home against Sanborn. Those turnovers right off the bat, struggling to get some offense going early on, although, of course, they did so throughout the game, but just really needing to settle things down. And have a great day. John Stark looking for the upset. Boy, would it be a big one. Not that they can't do it. They've had, again, we talked about at the top of the show, a fantastic season. And looking to knock off the number 2 seed and advance to next Saturday's semifinals. Believe it's been announced that the championship will be at Stello Stadium. in 2 weeks' time. We'll wait for confirmation. Teams are set to go. John Stark in their road white uniforms going left to right across your screen. The kick is up, and we are underway here in this championship. Back to receive is Mansu, and he will be slammed down at about the 20-yard line.
Manso on the return, brought down by Dykstra. First and 10 Bobcats from the 21.
So they'll mark him at the 21 here, just underway. Plymouth in their traditional Navy uniforms, white pants, white helmets, and white numbers. They'll be going right to left across your screen here in the first. Bobcats will break the huddle. Keane in motion to the near side. Keeper with Luke Diamond to the right side, and a gain of about 4. We'll see where they mark him out, actually. Might be a gain of 6 on the play.
Diamond on the keeper.
It is a gain of 6 for the quarterback. A solid start there for Plymouth. And the first play from scrimmage. Fans getting energetic already, rightfully so. Diamond, fullback handoff right up the middle, and a big run for Robbie Thorne for a Bobcat first down.
Thorne on the carry, good for a Bobcat first down.
Gets Plymouth out to the 37-yard line. And shout out for John Stark. Field hockey, undefeated season, taking the state championship in Division II. So great job to the Generals there. Handoff near side. Thorne drops his shoulder and gets out to about the 45.
Thorne on the carry, brought down by Williams.
Delton Williams in on the tackle. Gain of 7 there for Thorne. Put him at the 44. Same formation, Plymouth doing well. Just moving the ball downfield. Another handoff near side, finding the gap there for Thorne. And it should be a gain of 4. We're going to see where they mark it, though. It is enough for a Bobcat first down.
First down, Bobcats.
So it looked like it from our vantage point, but we are here up in the library. $10:20 and counting, first quarter just underway. Handoff fullback, Thorne gets spun down across midfield. Gain of about 2 on the play.
Thorne on the carry.
They'll give him 3 at the 51. So Plymouth doing this drive a solid so far over midfield. After starting at their own 21. Plymouth sticking with his formation. Pitch back there to Keane, and he'll gain 12 on the carry for, or a carry
Keane
of,
on the carry, brought down by Stratton, first down.
9 on the carry, my apology, for a first down. And Keane will sub out here. Ben Valenti will come in for him. And so far, the Generals struggling to slow down the running game here for Plymouth. Good protection out front. Pitch to Valenti. He'll get into the secondary across the 35 out to about the 32.
Brought down by Parrish.
It'll be a gain of 8 for the Bobcats. So it's just difficult. General struggling to get some penetration on the line and get into that secondary. It's allowing Plymouth to find the edges right now. Now they'll show blitz up the middle. And Keene runs into her wall, and just as I say that, big time stop.
Keene brought down in the backfield by Dykstra.
Joey Dykstra, number 14, making that tackle, just exploding through the gap. Makes it 3rd and 5. Pitch Valenti. He's got some running room out in front, and he'll get across for a first down inside the 25.
Valenti on the carry, first down, Bobcats.
You can see that big hole out in front. $7:15 and counting, scoreless here in the first quarter. And off again the backfield, and this time the Generals were ready for it on the near side, and once again Dykstra was there to plug up the hole.
On the carry, brought down by Dykstra.
Valenti had nowhere to go. Give him a gain of 1 on the rush. So Plymouth to the line just outside the red zone, opening drive here of the game. Fullback handoff, it's Valenti. And he'll be tackled inside the 15.
Valenti on the carry, brought down by Parrish.
So Parrish again on the tackle. 3rd and 2 here for the Bobcats. They're going to say 3rd and 1, actually. Plymouth stayed in the same formation on this entire drive. And why not? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. No need to change it up. Valenti tackled at the 10, and it's 1st and goal.
Valenti on the carry, first down, Bobcats.
So Plymouth looking for a score here in the opening drive. See if they can cap it off. Valenti had Patridge out in front. He'll dive across the 5, and he'll be down at the 3. It'll be 2nd and goal. Under 5, a solid drive here by Plymouth. Classic Bobcats chew up the clock and continue the drive downfield. Diamond under center. Handoff Valenti. Why not? He'll dive in for a Bobcat touchdown.
Touchdown, Bobcat.
And it caps off a beautiful drive.
Touchdown score by
a 79-yard drive by Plymouth. And it gives the Bobcats a 6-0 lead with 4:29 to go. And so for the extra point attempt. And a flag comes in on the far side. We'll see what referee says
flag
here.
Down on the play.
Encroachment on the Generals, so they'll mark it.
Encroachment.
Half the distance to the goal, so it'll be at the 1. And we'll do it again. And now Plymouth will bring Luke Diamond on for the 2-point conversion attempt. Why not? You're at the 1. So here we go. Plymouth trying to extend that lead to 8. Double shift to the right side. Rainier and Crane handoff. Robbie Thorne will charge his way in for the 2-point conversion, and it's 8-0 Bobcats.
Thorne in for 2. The conversion is good.
So again, great start here for Plymouth. Now we'll see what the Generals have in store as they get ready for their first offensive drive of the afternoon. Again, winner of this will take on Souhegan next week in the semifinals. If you're just tuning in, Souhegan, it hasn't been announced on the NHIAA website, took the win over Bow 54-6 last night. And they're waiting for the winner of this one. Short kick by Trevin Stone, just inside the 30, and Dextra pushed out on the short return.
On the return, brought down by Marsh.
Logan Marsh had the tackle, so here come the Generals offense. Sutkiss will be the quarterback, number 7. Generals going with that jumbo formation as well. Plymouth trying to do the shift and catch him off guard. Push. Lackerite has nowhere to go. And it'll be a loss of 1 with forward progress. Plymouth just plugging up that hole. B and C gaps, and Generals trying to do a hurry-up offense here and keep Plymouth unbalanced. About to be 4 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. Handoff running is White. White is pushed out at the original line of scrimmage.
White on the carry, pushed out of bounds by Foisey.
And it's 3rd and 10. Well, they're moving back. It's 3rd and 12 at the 30. Plymouth looking for a 3-and-out. Double reverse. White spinning inside, getting some forward progress. Gets out to about the 35, and just like that, it's 4th down. And they're going to call for the punt unit on 4th and 7. So a big 3-and-out for Plymouth to start this game defensively. Rainier Mansu back to receive the punt. It's a high one. Gathered up at the 34. by Mansu. Shakes off one tackler and gets slammed to the ground at the 41.
Manso on the return. First and 10 Bobcats from the 40.
So beautiful overcast day football weather, as my late father-in-law loved to say. .301 to go, 8-0 Bobcats. Now Plymouth will show a different formation for the first time. Ibargwin will move out far side right. Diamond tried to hand it off on the option, fumbled it back into his hands. He'll throw it clear out of bounds, intended for Ibargwin as a target, but a flag does come down late out near midfield.
Flag down on the play.
But a broken play there for sure. We'll see what the officials say. Ineligible receiver downfield.
Ineligible player downfield, Bobcats.
So that'll move Plymouth back here. And it should be a replay of first down. So now 1st and 15 on their own 35. Handoff, full back or tailback there, and was that Patridge? Couldn't see who it was from our vantage point.
Patridge on the carry.
It was Patridge on the carry, his first touch here this afternoon. A gain of 10, it makes it 2nd and 5. Ibargwin solo outside. Handoff again. Plymouth getting some protection on the edge. Ben Valenti just powering his way out to the 41 and a big first down run. Gain of about 16 on the carry. And Plymouth in general territory for the first time, or second time here this afternoon. Just under 2 minutes to go, opening quarter. And slipping on the play there is Valenti. So it'll be a loss of 1. I think he clipped the foot of one of his offensive linemen and tripped him up. So it'll make it 2nd and 11 at the 42. And our microphone, whether it being far away, is picking up head coach Chris Sanborn, not pleased with the footwear for Ben Valenti. Handoff, Thorne has nowhere to go. Great stop inside.
Thorne on the carry.
Alex Decato, the captain, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, held up his own man and got his arm on Thorne and allowed his teammates to kind of crash in and make the stop. So 3rd and 10 at the 41. John Stark would love a stop, nearly had it right there. Valenti drilled at the line of scrimmage And great job by the Generals to hold their ground and protect the edge. And it brings up 4th and 9.
Letty on the carry.
And they'll make it officially 4th and 8. And a timeout.
And that's the end of the first
Or
quarter.
correction, end of the first quarter here. And Plymouth controlling the pace of play. They've had possession all but 3 plays of this game on a 3-and-out on the first drive for the Generals. But at the end of one, it's Plymouth Regional Bobcats 8, John Stark General 0. You watch Bobcat
Sponsor for
football
today's game,
here
Service
on
Credit
Pemmy
Union.
Baker TV.
Service Credit Union. Visit nationalguard.com/NH.
So back to start the second quarter. Dan Salzer, soon to be joined by Mike Courier. And Plymouth will punt this away with Stone. Receivers for the Generals back at their own 10. A high snap. Flipped over, and it's going to land out at the 27-yard line. And that's where John Stark will go to work here for their second drive of the game. As we welcome Coach Courier into the broadcast. And, Coach, I know you've been scrambling around a little bit, but Plymouth so far has had control all but 3 plays, a 3-and-out for the Generals on their first drive. Plymouth going 79 yards for the touchdown, capped off by Ben Valenti. And really just kind of a continuation of Bobcat football.
Yeah. Well, and I had the opportunity to look at a lot of film, and the offense being run by John Stark is, there's some options, but it's pretty tight, and I just think it's not really set up for the type of defensive line they're facing. And with the corners, I think they're going to have a long, rough day.
Williams on the carry.
They've got to spread things out if they
Brought
want to
down
make
by
things
Carter.
happen, and I haven't seen that as part of their arsenal.
Yeah, Zach Carter getting through the gap there and making the tackle in the backfield for a loss of 2. Here's a rush to the right side for Williams. And he'll get
Williams
back
on
to
the
the
carry,
original
brought
line of
down by
scrimmage.
Galvin.
And just like that again, John Stark working quickly in a blink of an eye. It's 3rd down here. 3rd down and 9. Looking for some protection. Again, trying to do a double reverse, and Plymouth just breaking it open. It's Mansu in on the tackle.
In watching the films,
Cardi on the carry.
John Stark does not have a ton of plays. And, in scouting them and watching what they do, they have, maybe 6 plays that they go to. And that one being one where the handoff goes to the first wing, and then he hands an inside handoff to the guy coming the other way. Problem being is that this defensive line of Plymouth is penetrating, and you can't make any success out of those plays with that. And they're back to punt again. And high snap.
Yeah, it gets over the head of the punter there of Bellin.
He gets it off, and
Somehow, there's a lot of confusion. There's a flag back towards the end zone. It's probably going to be roughing the kicker.
Yeah, it is. And the thing is, the kicker also slipped as he kicked. So, I question that call a little bit.
So we're going to try to figure out what happened on that broken play on both sides. But a flag down at the 3-yard line on 4th and 15. Mike, I didn't know if you had a chance to look. We showed the bracket and the scores from yesterday with St. Thomas getting the win over Sanborn 21-7, and then it wasn't updated on NHIAA. but Souhegan with a 54-6 win against Bow, and they're waiting for the winner of this one.
And I'm not surprised by either one of those scores. So I think, Plymouth hopefully will get through today. And if they do, they'll be looking at Souhegan for a second time. And, it's always nice to get a team that beat you. It's nice to get them again, because Plymouth did not play their best game. Not to take anything away from Souhegan, but Plymouth will be doing some different things and focusing on some different things and seeking a little bit of revenge. So I think the motivation, the other pieces are going to be here. If Plymouth wins today, they'll be here next week against Souhegan. And, it always helps to have the home team advantage with the crowd and everything.
Yeah, we talked about it. John Stark, a 7 seed, only lost 3 games. Granted, all 3 were on the road. But that's how critical it is for home field advantage this year and how tight Division II is. We're going to have a re-kick here. Penalties offsetting officially. Bellin gets a nice high end-over-end kick. A friendly Generals bounce well inside Bobcat territory and down at about the 32, and a beautiful punt there for John Stark.
Yeah, he got a much better snap that time. He could handle and did a nice job kicking the ball, and he got a good bounce, but no return on that, which is always what a punter loves, is don't return it 20 yards when I've kicked it 40 yards. Hurts my average.
Exactly. 10:02 to go here in the second quarter. 8-0 Plymouth. And here comes Luke Diamond. Set to go on this third drive of the game for Plymouth. Handoff near side, and Thorne just running into a couple of big bodies for the General.
Well, I had an opportunity during the week to speak with Coach Sanborn, and I actually talked to Robbie Thorne. I ran into him, and he learned a big lesson last week. He ended up sitting for a while with those 2 fumbles, and he told me, he says, I got to cover up with both hands. And I said, bingo.
Something that's been preached to him for a while.
Yeah,
I know something you've been saying.
He needs to go with his strength. He's a big kid. He just needs to stay down a little bit lower, forward lean, and just pound on people.
Just that north-south, and here he goes again. Just on cue, Coach, across the 50 for Robbie Thorne, and a big Bobcat first down.
And I did like to see both those arms tucked around that football. I don't think you'll see Robbie do that again. He's had a great run on that one. Did exactly what he follows his blockers well too. He had a good hole going through, and then he followed the pack in front of him, and did a nice job on that.
Plymouth in General's territory at the 47-yard line. $8:50 remaining first half. Handoff backfield, Thorne getting pulled down from behind by Jezierski there.
Still picks up 4 or 5, and they've run that play 3 times in a row now. But, this isn't rocket science, and if it ain't broke, no need to change anything. What always kind of makes me ponder is when teams come all the way down the field, they get inside like the 10-yard line, and they start to throw the ball or do something different instead of
they did that entire drive.
What got them down there?
I know you missed it, but that first drive, this is the play that Plymouth ran on every single play to get that touchdown. Like you said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And Thorne again across the 40. And enough. We'll see what the mark is.
First down.
Should be enough. Yeah, they are indeed.
Now you'll notice as well as the defense of John Stark is pretty close up. They're not too deep back there. Play action pass, if coach needed it or wanted to do it, would probably be successful. And if you notice the defensive line, they have 3 down linemen, and they kind of walk away their defensive ends. For Plymouth this time, they've got 5 on the line, and that is going to address the off tackle.
So again, Thorne hit right away. Maybe again a couple. And that's Lucas Belanger there, number 91.
Yeah, and he's the guy that stood out on the film that I watched. He's a good football player, And probably the only thing that helped Robbie is they're both about the same size.
Yeah, exactly.
Down by Belanger.
Two giants dancing, you know.
So it'll be 2nd and 7. Again, Plymouth just not rushing at any point here today.
Or again, we got double tight ends, and we've got what they call the 200 formation with the fullback, right halfback, and a wing, and it's built for running. And Valenti takes off.
Valenti getting a little agitated with the football out there with one hand. He's inside the 30, out to about the 26, and they're going to mark him just shy. So a 3rd and 1 coming up.
So you got 2 downs to make this if you need it, and you certainly don't want to punt at this point. And field goal wise, it might be a little stretch in the range.
Dekutowski's brought in as well here. Handoff, Valenti trying to turn the corner, has some running room. 10-5, and he's tackled at about the 2. Valenti making something out of nothing and shaking off tackles.
Well, you know, the other thing that I noticed in watching the film that if you look at John Stark tackling, they really don't tackle well. Their upper body with a guy like Valenti who's got some decent size, you know, if you don't hit him below the waist, he bounced off those tackles at that point and bounced it out. So you really gotta wrap up, number 1, but number 2, you gotta get some leverage down low.
Plymouth looking to pound it in. It's going to be Valenti, and another Bobcat touchdown.
Touchdown, Bobcats.
Make it 14-0 Plymouth here in the first half.
Touchdown scored by number 23, Ben Valenti.
So a little ground chuck out there, which is fine. It's now it's 14-0, and they'll kick this one.
And it's his first extra point attempt. Last touchdown, it was a penalty, so Plymouth went for it on the 1 and converted.
Oh boy.
And it's blocked at the line.
Well, I think
good job there by John Stark.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that I don't know who handles the special teams this year, but they're going to want to talk to somebody about that because, you know, the Mansu's he's automatic for the most part. So that one did not go the way it was intended for sure.
And after not missing an extra point attempt through the first, I think, 4 games of the season, and then you had the missed field goal last week. You've had a few missed extra points attempt. Weather also a factor with the rain over the last few weeks. But it feels like it's a different style for him almost this year.
Yeah.
Tale of 2 seasons. But we'll see if that sparks John Stark here with some momentum on their side late in the first half. Stone ready to kick it off. Expected to go fairly short, as it's been really since Sauhegan. Gathered up inside the 30, running room right side. And it's Williams with a nice return, number 14.
Williams on the return.
Or 44, sorry.
Valenti.
He showed some good speed there and started right up the sideline. Unfortunately, somebody was able to grab him from the side slightly behind him and stop them. But they got good field position now to start doing some things, and we'll see what they do to mix things up.
Great start for them at their own 44. Plymouth,
Boy, they're
yeah,
looks like they're lining up offside.
Wildcat offense and a direct snap to White. And he'll gain a couple.
That was a lot of effort for a little bit. And Plymouth strung that out, and he had to keep bumping it out. But there were 2 or 3 different guys that dove at them, and they slipped out of their hands. But again, when you're in that tight and you're not spread out, you don't really give your running back much room. Unless the guy's real fast and can get around the corner, you're going to struggle. Plymouth just pushed that out where they had to just keep going out, and by the time they cut up, they ended up getting like less than a yard.
They've brought in now the Generals Joey Dykstra as a quarterback.
And that's what they do with him. 14 is they go back into that they're in the shotgun formation, and I don't know what do they call that, the Wildcat.
Yeah, essentially like direct snap Wildcat.
And they let him just run. What they like to do too, John Stark will pull their backside guard and tackle and run the opposite way. So that's kind of they try to just out-muscle you.
Well, biggest play for them so far this afternoon. It's 3rd and 3, and they're across midfield for the first time this afternoon. 5 minutes to go, second quarter, 14-0 lead for the Bobcats. Dykstra and that shotgun direct snap instead. Once again to Donnie White. And still going across the 40, and a big first down for John Stark.
So that time they loaded up to their right, Plymouth's left, and then they ran the ball back. And he made a nice cut. He made a nice sidestep in there to get the first down. So, this is the kind of thing that if John Stark wants to stay in the ball game, they're going to have to do these things.
But again, it feels like since that block they had on the extra point attempt, they've really kind of shown a different style, a different energy on this third drive of the game for them. At the 40, high snap, right up the middle, and gain of maybe 4 on the play there for Dykstra.
Yeah, and right now they're just, it's a kitchen sink. They're just pounding the ball right up using their tonnage, and it's a good idea. I mean, it's working for them.
Absolutely.
Better than what they were doing before. So Plymouth's got to figure a way to kind of plug things up and build a barrier where they're running the football.
They'll split Parrish out wide right. Now he's going to throw. Dykstra looking for Parrish over the middle and overthrows him by about 10 yards.
Yeah, and they'll throw out of that, and he has a tendency to overthrow his receivers, which he did on that one too.
But that's not a bad idea, though, because it's going to at least keep Plymouth secondary a little bit more honest and take some bodies off of that line of scrimmage, potentially another big run coming. Yeah. 3rd and 6.
They're in 2-down territory here, too. They got 2 more attempts to get that first down. And they're on the left hash now. They got a lot of room to the right.
Dykstra, a little delay. Quarterback keeper tries to jump for the first down marker. Going to be short with his knee by about a yard. A gain of 5 on the carry. Good job by Eli Crane. But definitely, you go for it here on 4th and 1. And a timeout taken by the Generals. Their first charge timeout. Here with 3:14 to go in the quarter. And really, Mike, if you're Ray Kershaw, the head coach of the Generals, what are you saying to your team? What are you looking to do right now?
I'd say, hey, guys, you see how we've been moving the ball? We're successful pounding it at Plymouth. They can't stop us, is what I would say if I were him, even though Plymouth may be able to make adjustments. But they can't stop us, so let's just keep pounding it, do the same thing. Nobody drop the ball. And I think that's what you do. I think the confidence has got to be better for the guys on the line and the running backs, and they've found something that's successful against Plymouth's defense. I mean, what they're doing is the quarterback, Dykstra, is just kind of like picking a hole, and he's kind of seeing what opens up. And then he cuts up. He's straight up inside, or he breaks to the outside, and he does have the option to throw. So I think this is their ticket right now.
Goes right up the gut for Dykstra. First down and then some. Just outside the red zone. Big time run there for the Generals.
Extra on the draw.
Well, quarterbacks, he lost his helmet, so he's got to come out for a play.
Boise and Lions.
And
Stutkus should be returning? Or are they going to bring somebody else in? Trying to see on our screen, and that's for you, Coach, today.
Yeah.
So, no, they bring in Antonioni. Direct snap to White, though. White spins off one tackle and gets to the 20. You gain it 2.
And that's the other thing they do when they have the 2 backs. They have a quarterback and a running back there, and they will snap it to either one of them directly. So it doesn't just go to the quarterback as it didn't that time. So now you got your quarterback back in the ball game. And they've got 1st and 10. They're on Plymouth 20, and Plymouth's got to figure a way they're gonna stop this.
Again, direct snap to White, looking for blockers. Tries to cut back up inside, and nowhere for him to run. You see Jackson Rainier in on the tackle, also with the help there of Emmett Nossaman.
Yeah, at that time they just tried to do their student body left, but Plymouth's bodies were all going the same way, and they just filled the cracks in the offense, and there was no gain on that.
3rd and 10, under 90 seconds to go here in the first half.
They got a wide receiver split to the right.
Byron Parrish, number 1. Pitch inside, and nowhere
Looks like
for Williams to go. Did it come loose?
Looked like it made it came loose, but I think they got it back. And they tried to do a trap play on that, which, you know, everything's so tight, it's hard to be as deceptive sometimes. You don't get motion moving one way to come back the other way because everything is so tight. But that was Plymouth stuff that they were ready for it. So we're looking at 4th down and about 11 or 12 right now.
The Cat Shack is open for all your dining pleasure. Get your 50-50 tickets.
They give him forward, yeah. They give him forward, so we'll make it 4th and 8.
Right.
Just under a minute to go, as John Stark uses their 2nd charge timeout.
I got dyslexic on that, Coach. So they've got to go to about the 11 for a 1st down, or 12. 4th down, I don't know. I think with the quarterback is pretty athletic, and they might want to use the wide side of the field to roll him out and have a choice to either throw or to run.
You got Foisey marking up against Parrish out on that far side. We'll see what happens as we get set for 4th down. 4th and 8 officially. Dykstra rolling right. Pressure in front, steps up, throws towards the end zone, and it's just through the hands of his intended receiver.
Well, and that was a Hail Mary. The receiver he was trying to get ran a wheel pattern where he ran down, took a couple of steps, and then broke it upfield, but the defensive back stayed right with him, so there was no throw there. He got almost taken down the first time by Bobcats, the quarterback, and then the second time he was hit just as he threw the ball. And at that point in time, you had all kinds of players down there, so it would have been one of those Hail Marys if the kid had caught it. But he made a really nice attempt and just couldn't hang on to the ball. So Plymouth's going to take over on their 20 on the right hash, and hopefully they'll get themselves another drive down the field.
So Plymouth working with 51 seconds to go here in the first half.
And they're in the speed sweep formation.
Mansu.
So it's
good pressure coming in. It's going to be dumped off here to Shannon.
Tight end screen.
Shannon with some room down the right sideline. Out to the 41.
That was well executed. Plymouth has done that half a dozen times this season, and they run it very, very well. Quarterback gets good depth, and you know, the secret to pass like that is you've got to put some distance between you and the defensive line. Let them come to you to open things up, and then you pop the ball over to the side to the tight end. And they've executed that very well this year. That was a big play for them. We're in the speed sweep formation again.
And two in motion to the left. Diamond stepping back into the pocket. Now has to be chased and flushed out. Quarterback keeper, he'll drop the shoulder across the 45. And a timeout taken by Plymouth.
He did a good job on that. He stepped up into the pocket to evade tacklers, and then he just took off with the ball and picked up, 5 yards. Still not, the patterns are a little bit long and take a little longer to develop. So I know that Coach Sanborn's got some other things in the arsenal, but he's choosing not to use them right now, I guess.
And hats off there so far in the last 2 plays. Roy Magoon, the captain, number 64, has really pressured Luke Diamond on that right side, or on Luke's left side of the line, and forcing him to kind of hurry things up more than he wanted to. So 2nd and 5 at the 46-yard line. 33 seconds to work with. Haven't seen Diamond try to air it out yet today.
They're in the speed sweep again.
Ball back handoff, Valenti across midfield, and a Bobcat first down.
Again, that was they ran the same formation the last 3 times, and the first 2 times it was play action pass. So on that one, he just turned and gave it to the fullback right away after the motion. And again, that's when they start thinking speed sweep, like they're going to have to get outside and cover that, or a pass straight ahead can be effective, like it was on that play. And Ben runs that play very well.
It almost has the feeling of a Jackson Rainier 30-yard pass right now on a run. We haven't seen that yet. And he's out here on the near side.
Well, we've got trips.
Oh, that's Foisey, never mind.
Trips left.
Oh, there he is.
For the Bobcats. This is something we haven't seen. I don't believe we've seen it this year or much of it.
Haven't seen him in a bundle.
And they just give it to Valenti.
Run up the middle.
He may have another first down.
He does indeed. Plymouth still has 1 timeout to work with, and they've used it. So 22 seconds to go. Plymouth out of timeouts, and now you kind of air it for the end zone if you want to score, Coach. What do you think?
Well, 22 seconds. I mean, you either you do that or you try to get a quick out to get out of bounds. I don't know. They tend to like the long pass up in the air and let their wide receivers go after it, and they've had some pretty good success through the season with that. And the last couple of years, they had great success with that kind of pass. This will be something where you will probably see the secondary of John Stark soften up a little bit and deepen, let nobody behind them, and that's what they're doing right now, which is wise.
Yeah, they're in that cover formation. Parrish is dropping off. Diamond, 7-step drop almost.
And there it is.
Rainier on the near side and near the sticks for the first down. It is indeed another first down.
It took 7 seconds. That's what you need to do. And in running that speed sweep, the fake play action, usually they don't pay much attention to the guy that came across with the fake, which is who Rainier was, and he was wide open, just standing in a spot. So
now here comes Eli Crane in to the offense for Manso. Haven't seen him carry the ball yet today. They'll split Ibargüen out wide left. You got Crane.
Oh, this is. Oh,
they tried it.
Yeah,
they wanted that.
Yeah, and the thing is, I don't know why the whistle was blown.
Legal shift is the only thing I can think of.
Well, I against Plymouth. Sanborn's going to have a little beef on that one, I think.
Yeah.
And that's a play that they've run in the past, which has been successful. Actually, I think that they prepared for it because they followed the quarterback over to the side.
So, 1st and 15 now. Diamond going to throw far side and laying out for that one.
But the clock's still going, so they've got to stop it real quick. He's got to throw that into the ground right now.
Got to spike it.
Diamond
to get one more play.
3 seconds, 2.
I don't think
they're not going to get it off in time. They do not.
Jeez.
So that will end the first half this afternoon.
A great effort, a great catch by Jackson Rainier. He's back. He didn't have a lot going on last week, but today he's been looking good, catching the football. And it's clock management a little bit, so you got to really have things figured out. And they just took a little bit too long to be able to get another play.
So still a fast-going first half. A lot of runs, only a few passing attempts, mostly here at the end for Plymouth. Only one so far for John Stark. But at the break, it's Plymouth Regional 14, John Stark Regional 0. You're watching Bobcat football in the NHIAA Division II quarterfinals right here on Pemmy Baker TV. We'll be back in a few minutes. So get ready for second half kickoff. Welcome back, fans, here on Pemmy Baker TV. Dan Salzer alongside Mike Courier getting ready for second half kickoff. John Stark will receive the kick here to start the third quarter. And really, Coach, not a lot to really say, mostly running throughout the first half of this game. Plymouth leading 14-0.
Yeah, and John Stark, I think they found their crack in the defense when they started just throwing everything but the kitchen sink at them with the quarterback, back in the shotgun formation, and he kind of picks where he wants to go, and it just cuts up. They had great success. Plymouth was not very good at stopping it. They did fortunately stop them on the 20-yard line, but I think that John Starks now finds something that they can wedge in there. The other piece with that is once they find that, and Plymouth compensates for that, they can try something different. And that's what you do, is you adjust to whatever changes are made to stop what you're doing.
And again, like you talked about from watching film, it's how much do you have in your arsenal? How deep can you go in the playbook to exploit against Plymouth, where Plymouth has been notorious for just having a lot of things that they show maybe once during the season.
And John Stark has some good crossing patterns in their offensive package. The tendency has been to overthrow a little too much sometimes. But they certainly got, 14 he's an athlete, and he can run, and he's got pretty good size, and he can throw the ball decent. So, anything can happen. This is not ever, 14-0 is nothing with half a game left.
And we've seen so many other crazy things happen this year alone with a score of 2 touchdowns. And fans, winner of this will take on Souhegan in the semifinals next week. If it's Plymouth, it's here at Plymouth Regional High School. If not, if it's John Stark with a comeback, it'll be at Souhegan. Get ready for kickoff at Travis Stone. And we'll see what John Stark can do here on this return and see if they have some momentum.
Well, I think that, John Stark should be, happy with 14-0 at the half, because, 2 scores is not insurmountable, that's for sure. And they do have, they won five games, and the 3 that they lost, they lost against good teams. So they're in the mix, and that's why they're here. And I would never count them out.
Not until the final whistle. Parrish and White back to receive the kick if it gets that deep. We're back underway, a little short hopper there, and we're going to lateral this one back to White. Why not? Big block on the side, a flag. It's in the back, though.
He didn't have his helmet on the right side, so that's going to come back.
Flag down on the play.
A big return for White out to near midfield, but a block in the back and another flag coming in, or are we just throwing that one out in the air?
I don't know. Maybe number 20 made a comment on the way by. I don't know.
That's the only thing I can think of. Normally don't throw the flag twice. You'll throw your helmet for a second flag, but either way, I love that idea from John Stark coming out to start the third quarter.
Well, it's the first time we've seen them do that. Plymouth has been fortunate to do the pooch with some of the good receivers and running backs returning the football, so they've kept that stuff to a minimum. But that right there was was different. I liked it.
Well, it's also when Dykstra, your quarterback, is going to air it out, you have more faith in a throw like that. Gets everyone a little nervous if you're that team's fans. Still waiting on a call here from the officials.
Well, I think definitely the block that was made was not, he did not have his helmet on the front side of the guy's shoulders, and he couldn't see the letters. So that definitely was a clip, and you can run that back all you want, and you'll see it. But we have pretty good view here. Plus, we have this big screen in front of us that gives us the good eye in the sky. So we'll see what happens now.
And another dead ball personal. So 2 penalties here. On the Generals. Couldn't really see.
Penalty for blindside block.
There you hear it. Blindside block.
And an unsportsmanlike conduct.
I'm assuming from White, chirping back at the officials a little bit,
well,
like you said.
It's one thing to get cut. It's another thing to throw salt in the wound. And you just can't afford to do that, especially in playoff time. You can't be doing things like that. That's a mental mistake, and it's just not acceptable at this level of the season and the game.
No, because you go from what could have been near midfield start of the drive, and now you're stuck back at your 11. But again, still full half of football to go. And we'll see what the Generals can do here on this drive. Hand off right side there for Williams. And he'll gain maybe 3 on the play.
Liam Shannon had that sniffed out.
Williams on the carry. Brought down in the backfield by Shannon.
Liam's got good speed. It's a little hard to outrun him on that corner.
Oh, we saw that with his speed up the near sideline on that last drive before the half.
Yeah, we're going to get twin receivers out to Plymouth right.
So you see Sutkus back in at quarterback number 7. He played the first 2 drives of the game. Throws out to Parrish, has some blockers, and runs into a couple of Bobcat players. One of them being Nolan Gavin, number 26, who made the initial stop.
Nolan did a nice job on that. He fought off the blocker and made the tackle.
Complete to Parrish.
Good play on that. They only picked up a few on it.
A third and 4.
Yeah.
3rd and 3.
Yeah. So Plymouth may do a little something here, stunt-wise, to rush things a little bit.
Well, we've seen the Lamb shuffle only once so far today. I'm going to patent that right now. I know it's been around forever, but in motion.
Okay.
Direct snap to Williams. Trying to get the first down. Where's the spot going to be? It's right at the sticks.
He's close.
It is a first down. Nice job there for John Stark.
So now they've set up Delton Williams, one of the captains, number 44, and he's a big boy, and I think they're just letting him kind of pound the ball. So they've got different folks they can run from back there, and that's been the most success all game long.
They've been moving some more across the line, different guys. Most recently, Lackerite again in motion. High snap!
Over the head.
Williams
picks it up.
Falls on it at the 10. And lucky break there for the Generals.
That's just like a pinprick in the balloon when that happens, because they were actually moving the ball a little bit. They may have been able to get another first down. But with something like that, it just sets them back. They're essentially, second down and over 20, I think.
Yeah, 22 yards to get. Gonna put them at their own 9. They're setting up the same formation. Throw out near side for White. And again, Nolan Galvin in on the tackle. Gain of maybe 4.
Nice job on that. That was Gavin. Yeah, that was a nice job. He had a little swing pass out there, and Nolan was athletic enough to not get juked, wrapped him up, and took him down. So now they're looking at 3rd and trying to find 10.
18, 19, depending on where they. I was going to say 16.
So they might have a shot if they want to run kind of a wheel pattern where they go down, out, and up. Plymouth's been caught a couple times this year with that pattern. They bite on that first fake and then turn upfield. But
get in the shotgun, working the snap count. Sutkus finds his receiver near the 25.
And that was just a little curl pattern in the morning where he just in the morning. Where am I? Rough speak day. I've heard somebody say that earlier today, but. It was a nice pattern. It was kind of a curl, but it wasn't going to get you in the first down. So, it's 4th down, and I don't know, what do we got, about 6 maybe? Punt teams in. And we'll see what happens. The centers struggled a little bit today.
Yeah, but great catch, though, by Tyler Fredette. His first reception of the afternoon. A nice...
That's going to roll.
Spiraling punt. Friendly bounce for John Stark inside the Bobcat 40. Down to the 39, and that's where Plymouth will start their drive here for the first time in the second half.
So just get an update. Plymouth State University is ahead 31-21 over Mass Maritime, and there is just 2 minutes and 43 seconds left. So they're looking at a possibility of a 4-game win streak, which is great. They struggled in the beginning of the season. They had a couple games they probably should have won, but you know, a couple bad plays here and there can turn the tide on that. So I think Plymouth's a better team than their record shows, but they're looking like they're having a better second half of the year.
7:30 to go, third quarter. Plymouth back to work. Handoff near side up the middle on the run is the likes of Patridge, number 24, his second carry today.
And Tristan's been coming on more recently. He had some great runs last week, and he does a pretty good job. He gets up the field north and south, and he's got some decent speed. So he's doing a good job. And again, it's one of the many in the stable that Coach Sanborn has.
And we've seen him start to get a few more touches on the ball as the season's gone on each game, kind of getting him ready for that next level next year.
Yeah.
So 2nd and 5 at the 44. The Barg went out wide.
We're in the speed sweep formation, and we're coming to the short side of the field.
Oh, Thorne running into a wall, able to get some positive yardage, but good job again by Dilton Williams, the captain, to get in the backfield.
The captain came across the line of scrimmage and was just right there to bear hug him. And Robbie Thorne, being a big kid, was able to break that tackle and get back to, maybe had a small gain perhaps.
We'll give him at least looks like 3-yard carry. But still, Williams has been the one to watch here in the defensive line for the Generals. Handoff up the middle again. Cross midfield and a first down for Ben Valenti.
Ben has run that play about as good as anybody can all season long. He does a nice job.
Still a great crowd on hand, and from the weather forecast that we've heard, rain is held off, knock on wood. Although it'd be a nice little mix-up of the game here, seeing what both teams can do with some adversity with the weather.
Really?
No, just trying to play it off. That's all. Handoff again. Valenti just going to charge on the seam. A gain of 11 on the carry. Another Bobcat first down.
Well, I came a little late, and I have not seen our speedster, Mr. Keene. Thinking maybe he
had a couple of carries in the first drive.
Okay.
But haven't seen him since that opening touchdown.
Well, he'll be your. Last week he had cramps, and that was why he came out of the game.
And whistles here and a flag.
I don't know if we got too much time or. Yeah, it looks like too much time, and you can't do that in playoff. Those are the things that'll kill you. A close game like that, would be not a good thing. But
that's when you got to look at the back judge with a hand, counting you down.
And Plymouth State makes it 4 in a row. They beat the Mass Maritime Marauders 31-21. So hats off to Coach Castonia and the staff, and most of all, the players.
Panthers making a charge. Also, good luck to volleyball senior day for Plymouth State. Handoff here near side, and again, this line is holding strong thanks to Williams and the rest of the line for
Valenti on the carry.
John Stark. Valenti, maybe a couple. Actually, a loss.
I think it was Williams and Belanger did kind of a John Stark sandwich.
Putting negative yards in the rushing there for Plymouth. It's 2nd and 12. Bargan will split outside. Handoff Valenti. Oh, good gap.
Boy.
Just gets tripped up. Last second. Antognoni, hopefully you say that right, number 12, with a shoe top tackle.
Valenti on the carry.
And they're going to the hurry-up offense. Looking at 3:42 left in the third quarter. They go to the right side.
Same play, only a couple. He's going to be short.
Well, we'll definitely be going for it on 4th down, and coach has got them in the hurry-up offense.
The brought down by Williams.
Ken Williams in on the tackle. Plymouth getting set up here. Diamond under center.
And with
Valenti finds a gap. Gets into the secondary just outside the 20 is where he's tackled, and a Bobcat first down.
Valenti on the carry,
and I like to
first
see,
down, Bobcats.
Ben, I think in the past he gets north and south quick and does a very good job with that. There have been times when he could break it outside a little bit when there was one guy out there and he was headed that way but got wrapped up.
Some great late tackling by John Stark in the secondary, trying to muscle his way forward is Valenti. And he's tackled at about the 15.
Valenti
Joey
brought
Dykstra
down
in on the
by
tackle,
Dykstra.
number 14.
The John Stark program has really, I think, come alive the last few years. They had times way back when it was tough and they were starting out, but the last couple of years, they've developed a good football program there, and these guys this year, I think, could just as easily be 7-2 as 5-3 with a couple of breaks. But they got a good program there, and they've done well.
Diamond going to air it out for the end zone for Bargwin off his fingertips in the back corner. Falling incomplete.
Flag down on the play.
And there is a flag on the play.
Hopefully it's not a hold. Oh, he's pointing towards Johns. Well, not sure.
Show the replay here. Trying to pull double duty so we haven't had as many replays as normal. Just.
It's a hold on Plymouth.
Well then. We'll
Bobcat
make it
penalty for holding.
2nd and 13 now.
One thing that I think would be helpful with the passing game is, you don't see any comebacks. You don't see them stop and just pivot. Everything is long, and I think that sometimes they play it that way, but to do something a little different would work.
A running game here for Valenti. Kind of stutter step hurdle of sorts inside the 15.
You got that
Valenti on
little
the carry.
stallion kick there
Good for
to
a
pull
Bobcat
his
first down.
foot out of the grasp, and he's got another first down for us.
Just outside the 10, so at the 11-yard line. Valenti again on the carry will get inside the 10, a gain of about 2.
And that was number 14, Joey Dykstra on that, who's at linebacker. He just slid through the hole and met him there at the line of scrimmage.
1:35 to go, third quarter, still 14-0 Plymouth, no score here in the second half. Valenti trying to force a seam open, gets down to about the 6.
Dykstra's
Valenti
just
on the
picking a
carry,
hole,
brought down by Johnston.
trying to get a jump on it. He just came through the line of scrimmage, but he was behind the running back, so he had no play. But they're just trying to pick wherever they think it's going to be to break things up a little bit.
So they will mark it at the 6, so 3rd and 5. You see Valenti in the huddle. Trying to see who else will be the second running back. Patridge is in there. Number 24. Double shift here. Rainier. And whistles. And
Timeout.
Plymouth able to get the timeout called in time to avoid a delay of game call for the second time on this drive. So timeout here on the field with 42 seconds to go, Coach.
In the third quarter.
Becoming a high school sports official.
Still 14-0, but Plymouth hasn't been able to sustain anything in the second half, and they really need to get back on that.
Please visit www.NHIAA.org.
We talk about Gabe Keane. We see him over at the training table. We haven't seen him at all really since the opening drive of the game, so hopefully he will be okay and be ready for next week if Plymouth is able to hold on here in the second half.
And I think with Gabe, too, is it is playoff, but you've got people that can go out there and run, and you definitely want to have him in the last game of the season. I don't know, there may have been more than just cramping. He may have had some other issues, but hopefully we'll see him back on the field next game.
Plymouth does the shift. Valenti tries for the line. It's going to be just shy of first and goal at the 1.
And it is first and goal at the 1.
Just, I mean,
brought down at the 1.
By about the tip of the football off the goal line.
Well, the Coke machine's in. Robbie Thorne. I would not be surprised if somebody.
If I was a betting man.
If somebody bought a Coke. And he's got
There's Thorne, and he'll roll into the end zone for a Bobcat touchdown.
Touchdown, Bobcats.
And it makes it 20-0 Plymouth with 7 seconds to go in the third quarter.
Get a look now on this defense that has been getting in there to block one extra point and see where that's coming from. I'm sure the coaches have probably figured it out, but it's we've seen a little bit of a struggle now. They don't have enough guys on the field.
Eli Crane coming in very late.
Well, that's a surprise because they're usually right on top of that stuff.
Yeah, it feels like there's been too many sloppy mistakes like that here today. Extra point is good, and it pushes it to a 21-0 lead for Plymouth. Here with 7 seconds to go in the third.
We got Coach Chuck Lenahan.
Our microphone's picking up Chuck.
You can hear Coach Lenahan. He's got that sawmill whisper. And he's down there with Phil McCormick, who coached for years with him, and a local pillar, Fletcher Adams. And it's kind of nice to see these guys, come back and support the Bobcats.
So we're out for the kickoff for Trevin Stone, and we'll see if he tries to go near the likes once again of Dykstra, number 14, and if John Stark will do anything trickery again. Hopefully avoid a big penalty.
That return last time without the penalties wasn't bad, but now what they do is just kind of loft it over the middle, and that takes care of that play.
Yeah, it's very smart because you're forced to fall on it.
Now, we watched last week with Sanborn. They did the little chip shot, but they had the speedster who tried to go down the sideline and catch the football, and I'm sure they probably accomplished that a couple times during the season, but they almost did. But the way you got to work that, you got to do that little chip shot towards the sideline, kick it up nice and high and short to give your guy time to get down there.
Well, 1st and 10. At the 37.
They're spreading it out.
White in motion from the shotgun. Stuckis going to throw it out to that far side. And a completed pass there to Donnie White.
And he didn't intend to come back, but the pass was thrown behind him, so he was able to come back and get that. But, that's the kind of thing. Plymouth has not covered the out extremely well this year.
And that's the end of the third quarter.
They've had some really good defensive secondary moments. But the flat has been a tough one for them to cover
Wilson
of course, I know
Sporting
that they're
Goods.
thinking they don't want anybody to get
proud
behind them.
to use
Of
products
course,
from Wilson
you had
Sporting
to
Goods.
take a choice. You
For
give up
athletes
the
to
short
perform
one
at their best,
to give it
they
up the
require
long
the
one.
best. And that's
End
what
of the
Wilson has
third
delivered
quarter,
for over 100
21
years.
nothing
Learn more at
Plymouth.
Wilson.com.
As they'll get their first points of the second half. But here, do you feel, Coach, it's more of John Stark has to start throwing it now? They're kind of forced into a one-dimension setup.
They've got to score at least 3 times if they go for a 2-point conversion. They got 21 points to make up. If they don't do something soon, they're going to just run out of time because Plymouth's offense will chug down the line and chew up time. So John Stark's got to make something happen for themselves pretty quick.
2nd and 5 for the Generals. Sutkiss in the shotgun again, going to throw out far side. Finds Parrish across midfield, still on his feet, and tackled at the Bobcat 46. And a about 10-yard gain there on the pass.
That was a slant pass, and it was wide open. So I think that, they've been able to find some weaknesses, and they've got to really go to those right now.
Handoff in the backfield, and Nossaman is in there. Same with the likes of Liam Shannon, number 83.
That was not one of the chinks in the armor. That was the armor fell on him.
But I like that. It keeps Plymouth up top, allows you to throw it. 2nd and 14 now, right at midfield. Sutkiss airs one out, wide open. Parrish, 20. At the 10, and he'll be pulled out of bounds inside the 10. The biggest play of the day for John Stark. And it was a beauty of a throw.
He was so by himself, he must have been lonely, because I'll tell you, there were no defenders anywhere near him. So somebody broke down in the coverage. Didn't follow their keys on that. I'm sure they're going to be hearing a couple of things from Coach Lamb and Coach Sanborn, but now they got to take care of business right here.
Well, kind of a screen play. Bubble pass out left side. Williams just runs into a wall at the 2. But boy, here comes John Stark here.
Sutkiss to Williams.
Well, that's a hard one to defend. It's a quick little pass. The quarterback will get rid of it before he gets much of a rush. And it's just a quick little dump to the fullback. And he jukes the first guy and takes it to the 2-yard line. So.
4 wide receivers set. Handoff Williams. Right towards the goal line, and he's pushed back. It'll be 3rd and goal. Looks like Shannon again on the tackle.
Well, John Stark's got to put this in if they want to have a chance at winning this game, because we're down to almost 10 minutes now. And again, they got to score 3 times, and it has to be 3 touchdowns. So they got to make this happen.
So you're bringing in Dykstra, your second quarterback.
Your power eye to the right.
Handoff, White. Does he get in? He does not.
I do not think so. What they did on that, they had a power right, and they had the tailback go to the left.
White on the carry.
Nobody was fooled.
Brought down by Carter.
So 4th and goal at the 1. I'm going to say really at the 2.
And they're in the same formation. Let's see which way they go now. They
pitch out near side. White, little stutter step, cuts in. He reaches for the line, but the ball comes out. Did he cross the plane before it went down?
I do not believe he did. I don't see any indication from the officials.
It is not a turnover on downs, and the Bobcats goal line defense holds. Oh, heartbreaking for the Generals on a beautiful drive put together. Parrish with a couple of big catches, but they get stopped inside the 1.
Well, they tried running the toss, and it was a toss quick, close to the line of scrimmage. Didn't really give them a chance to get out and bend it a little bit, but they did not succeed. I'm a little surprised with number 14, the way he runs out of that shotgun, the Wildcat, that they didn't try that, where he'd have a visibility to see some things. So, but now the Bobcats got their hands full.
Oh, Robbie Thorne, does he get out? He does not. It's going to be a safety. Great job by John Stark to get at least some points out of this, albeit not a touchdown, but they'll get the 2 points with his safety.
And they get the ball back.
And they'll have the ball back indeed. So, boy, what a crazy couple of plays we've had here, Coach.
21-2, it sounds like the results of a Red Sox game during the season.
Oh, I could go into that for days, but I'm just going to leave that one alone.
Well, they got a new skipper at the helm, and I think this guy, he comes from success.
Former Red Sox as well.
Yes, that's right. That's right. But he was with Chicago for 5 years, and we know what Theo did with them, and then that spawned a local fella who went to Holden's prep school and went on to school. And Josh, his dad was a pediatrician in town. And he's with the Padres now, but that organization that Theo put together out there in Chicago, not to mention Boston, has produced 2 good general managers. So, but here we go. We're going to squib this one off and see what happens.
From the 20, it goes short. Dykstra at the Bobcat 40 will return it about 8 yards to the 32. And a very short field for the Generals to work with here. Well, 9:18 to go in the ball game.
Well, this is the thing. Now they've found some chinks in the armor. They have had success throwing the football, the quick stuff, and of course that nice long pass and whatnot. But Plymouth's got to make sure to really keep the pressure on them. And if they can force a turnover, that would be great, because then Plymouth could go into their ground chuck offense. Run the timeout.
We'll expect Parrish to be a target on throws. He's wide left. Split twins. Zuckis over the middle, wide open, and he can't pull it in. It's right into his hands.
And Jackson Rainier did not stay with him on that. He was wide open. And folks, that would have been, if they went for 2 and they scored a touchdown, now we're talking like 21-10 with 9 minutes left in the game. So this can turn around. Plymouth's got to make some plays here.
That's what we talked about. It's not over until that scoreboard reads zeros. Said that at the half. Zuckis gets swallowed up. Back at the 45.
Mr. Nosserman. Great play on that, and that's exactly what they needed. I figured at some point Coach Lamb would have a stunt going on, because they had to really increase some pressure and not give that quarterback that kind of time. I think that some of the receivers are faster than our D-backs, and they get by them. And if the quarterback's got time, it's like you look at Tom Brady, he could complete anything if he had enough time.
And a flag on the play.
It's an offside offensively, I believe.
It is indeed.
No, it looks like it's going to be on Plymouth.
Flag on the play.
Someone line up in the neutral zone? The ball wasn't snapped. We saw motion on the line.
Yeah, I think they lined up also.
And these are the unforced errors that drive Coach Sanborn nuts. As rightfully so of any coach, but especially here, 8:40 in the fourth quarter of a playoff game. Third and 17. Zuckis flushed out of the pocket, has to take off and run, and gets past Thorne near the original line of scrimmage, and it'll be 4th and 11. Gain of 6 on the carry.
Zuckis on the keeper.
So now, do you try to run for 11 yards, or you try to throw it into pressure? Because Plymouth in their complete prevent defense right now.
They can still throw under that prevent and pick up enough for a first down if you wanted to throw. He's got twins right and twins left, so they're throwing.
Going for the end zone, and Nolan Galvin in to break up the pass.
No flag on that, it was great coverage.
His pass is broken up by Galvin,
and he was right in the kid's pocket. So it was a great play, and Plymouth really needed that. And now what they got to do is take control again. They got to push the ball down the field, get another score on the board, and show them that they're not just getting lucky. They're going to be able to make it happen.
But take nothing away from John Stark. I mean, yes, it was only 14-0 at the half. Still 8:13 to go, but they haven't given up. They've continued to find ways to try to get past that defensive line of Plymouth, and they've had some flashes of brilliance. Handoff up the middle. And Thorne will get a couple.
Thorne on the carry.
3 on the carry.
Down by Dykstra.
We're down to 8 minutes in the game.
Dykstra's been everywhere, one of the top performers for John Stark. This afternoon gets another tackle. Luke Diamond still in the game. John Stark showing blitz, and they got someone to jump on the line.
I believe it may have been. I think it was, yeah.
The winning 50-50 ticket is 792-291. Again, 792-291. Pick up your prize at the top of the hill.
So that'll back Plymouth up 5 more yards. Just at the 32 now. $7:15 and counting. Generals looking to show blitz. Handoff up the middle. Fullback carry through Thorne again. Gain of about 4 or 5 on the play.
They're pulling on that football when he's going down.
Brought down by Williams.
They'll make it 3rd and 7. Anything to try to knock it free, get that turnover. Handoff near side, and Valenti maybe gets 3 out to the 41. And it will be Bobcat
Valenti
4th down. But now you punt it away at this point and trust your defense.
Make them come all the way down the field.
Trevin Stone back to punt it away. I believe Parrish is back to receive. It is indeed.
If he can get a hold of this thing, you ought to be able to kick it over his head. He's pretty short. Oh, he's backing up now. And it's a nice punt up in the air. He called a fair catch. Good control by Mansour, who was right there, ready to give him a hug.
Great job on the special teams on showing that blitz on the rush. They got 3 or 4 guys right in on Trevin Stone, nearly blocked it. But at this point, 5:44 to go here in regulation. Plymouth leading 21-2, but John Stark at their own 28-yard line. Need to score quick and often. So they'll go 4 wide receivers set. Twin split evenly. Good snap. Nossaman got a hand in there as it will fall incomplete. Intended for Tyler Fredette.
Well, Nossaman did a great job because he took that blocker and he pushed him right back into the quarterback, which forced a little bit of a quick throw, and he overthrew his receiver who was open. And again, that's that out pattern that is not really being covered well.
Going back to the same play, Nossaman flushes the quarterback out, and Dykstra going to air it out downfield, and it's just incomplete. No flag on the play. So I hit the wrong button for a second, trying to grab the replay.
Nate Lyons had his back turned to him. The ball went a little longer, and I mean, that was, I think it was a fairly catchable ball, but again, you got a receiver who's probably about 4, 5, 6 inches taller than the defensive back, and Plymouth's should be expecting that to continue to go on until the end of the game.
3rd and 10 now. Dykstra throws out far side, finds Parrish, but where do they mark him down? He'll be short by about 2 yards, and the clock will continue to run.
And I don't think they have.
Dykstra complete to Parrish.
They don't have the option. They got to go for this.
5 minutes to go.
And again,
trailing by 19.
I think this is where I'd have number 14 in that Wildcat.
That's exactly who comes in.
Yeah.
It's like you know the game.
Well, it makes sense. You got a good athlete that can run or pass. And
tip drill in the middle. It's intercepted. Jackson Rainier at the 40. On the return inside at the 30. And that should just about seal it for the Bobcats here this afternoon. But there is a flag on the play. It should be on the return, though, so it should stay with Plymouth, I would think.
Let us hope so.
But we'll find out.
That ball, was thrown into a host of people on the tip.
Defensive passing interference on Plymouth.
So, live to fight another day here. John Stark still got an opportunity.
A fresh set of downs.
Play by number 34, Jackson Rainier.
For the Generals. And I'll move them right out to midfield on the 15-yard penalty. Oh, correction, it's going to stay an interception, so it's moving back 15 yards.
So it was after
the interception.
Okay.
So.
Well, that's okay then.
There we go. I was like, wait, Diamond's running onto the field, so I'm completely wrong. Handoff, Thorne. We'll maybe get two, or Valenti, my apologies, gets thrown down, and seeing a little frustration there from John Stark.
I think if Luke faked that handoff and scooted around the right side, there would be nobody there. John Stark is jumping the gun, and they're trying to go right to the direction, because Plymouth hasn't really run in much misdirection here today.
Yeah, we haven't seen a sort of a reverse or anything of that nature this afternoon. Again, packing for the blitz. Valenti squeezes through out near the first down marker. They'll be just short by about a yard. Gain of 7 on the play. Williams in on the tackle. 3rd and 1 for Plymouth. John Stark has all 3 timeouts. Being down 19, I mean, it is playoffs. Wouldn't be surprised. Just try to, if you get a stop here, take a timeout, try to get the ball back, try to do something. Again, that double shift by the Bobcats. Handoff, Valenti, hit in the backfield. And what do you know? Joey Dykstra, number 14, gets the tackle for a loss. And it's 4th and 3 now.
Well, the other thing is this defense of John Stark's is in pretty tight, and speed sweep might be able to pick them up at least a few yards if they wanted to go that route. But they also got the backs. They've been pounding the ball all day, and they certainly got the guys to do that. So
Patridge and Rainier in motion.
And they do a little bit of toss outside.
Here's Valenti. Great protection by John Stark.
Don't believe he got it, though.
He did not. It'll be a turnover on downs. Great defense by the Generals. 2:36 to go. Down by 19. Got to try to air it out for the end zone as much as you can here. Plymouth will go back in that essentially prevent cover 6. Kotowski, as essentially the nose tackle, will be one of the few at the line of scrimmage. Generals to the line in shotgun here. Zutkis, 3-step drop, beats the pressure, throws over the middle, finds Dykstra at the 30. Pushed out at about the 20. Oh, boy.
Will Foisey was going for that himself, and he miscalculated.
Got a 40-yard play there for the Generals, and just like that, they're at the red zone. 2:25 to go. You have the extra free time with the clock stopping for the chains to move. You have all 3 timeouts to work with. Stuckis takes the hit, and it's dropped.
He caught that right on his shoulder pads.
Flag down on the play.
There is a flag on the play. It's Nathan Lyons, number 22, who's been solid all year. See what the call is. Roughing. Okay, contact to the head. So this is going to be tacked on after the play and really move the Generals deep inside the red zone.
Well, it must have been head-to-head because he got hit as he was releasing the ball. Well, there was nothing wrong with any of that. It would have to be helmet to helmet.
So it makes it 1st and goal at the 10. 2:18 remaining. Sutkus with protection, throws back across his body, diving into the end zone for a Generals touchdown is Donnie Wright.
Liam Shannon was the defensive the linebacker on that, and he just got 2 or 3 steps behind him, and it made it look pretty easy.
Just spins off a couple of guys and dives for that end zone. And now the 2-point conversion attempt here.
4 guys to the right-hand side, 1 to the left. They'll probably run a slant pass to the left.
Yeah, get the isolation. Little quick snap throw there to Parrish, and it will fall incomplete.
That's what they did, and it absolutely was not even close.
Generals touchdown scored by number 20.
Makes it 21-8 now. 2:12 to go. And John Stark has all 3 of their timeouts. Expect them to use them pretty quickly and try to get a 3-and-out on Plymouth.
Well, I would not be surprised to see an onside kick here.
That too. That's a good point.
You know, they got to have the ball, period, in order to score. So I think we're going to see that. And if Plymouth gets their hands teams up front, you know, which I think they're doing right now.
Now we see Crane, Foisey.
Yeah.
Trevin Stone coming out there as well by the looks of things. Patridge. Or correction, not Patridge. My apology. That's Russo, number 28. Rainier.
You got your quarterback out there. You
got anyone who's got the hands out there.
Definitely a hands team.
Luke Diamond on the near side here, just off your screen to the right. Here we go.
I don't
This
think
could
there's
be the ball game.
any surprises here.
Bellin ready for the onside kick attempt. Gets it high up, though, too high. And Mansu able to cover it up easily.
Well done, well done.
2:10 on the clock. We'll see if John Stark can get a stop, use the timeouts, try to get something else here late in the ball game. But Plymouth looking like they're going to hold on and advance to the semifinals.
Well, you get your quarterback to use every second they can when time's flowing and just let that clock wind down. But they still could use a first down.
First down would guarantee a victory with the timeout situation, if that's the case. Diamond under center, handoff, once again near side, big hole. Patridge off and running at the 30 and pushed out at about the 26.
They flip-flop the halfback and the wing. and then they ran back to that side. And it was a great play. The thing is that John Stark doesn't really react to that shift. They may psychologically, thinking, okay, here's this, we got the wing and the halfback on this side, but they really don't move anybody anywhere. So in effect, it doesn't really make a big difference. But I don't think anybody expected him to come backside against the power. So it was a good call. It was a great run, and it certainly put Plymouth in the driver's seat even further.
And got out of bounds to stop the clock as Robbie Thorne only gets a yard on the carry.
And they're shooting gaps. Dykstra had Luke's foot as he's handing off the ball, so they're just trying to anticipate and jump in to make something happen.
And timeout call, but wasting about 5 seconds there by John Stark. Minute 48 to go, their first charge timeout. So again, show everyone the tournament bracket going into today. Again, Souhegan did beat Bow yesterday, 54-6. They're waiting for the winner of this game. Don't have an update from Pelham and Kennett, as they also kicked off at 1 o'clock. Winner of that will take on St. Thomas in the semifinals next weekend.
To help repair and rebuild muscles after strenuous exercise. Learn more from our partners at nhdairypromo.org and refuel with chocolate milk.
Back out of the charge timeout to the Generals. And I love that Ray Kershaw just not giving up, showing that passion, having his team's back, using the timeouts here late in the game. Never over till it's over. Diamond, little pooch over the top, drops it in the hands of Robbie Thorne. Thorne carrying 3 guys on his back down to the 2. What was that?
Well, I'll tell you what, it was great hands and concentration on Robbie's part. We've seen him do it a couple times early in the season, but I hope he doesn't think he's going to be a wide receiver now. Maybe a tight end, but he certainly does have pretty good hands. So that was a great play. Turned out to be a great play.
Well, they tried something like that last week inside the 10, but fell incomplete towards the end of the first half. Handoff here, and Patridge will get in for the Bobcat touchdown.
And again,
that will seal it here this afternoon.
They flipped over the wing back and the half back to the right side, and then ran back to the left. Same play that they broke for a long one with Patridge earlier on the drive. So nice job done by the Bobcats. They needed to put another one in. And with a minute left, we're looking at 27-8. Hopefully our money man out there will chip it in.
Ready for the extra point attempt from Mansu. Rush coming, nearly blocked, but it is up and good. And a 28-8 lead now for the Bobcats with a minute 7 to go. Will all but seal the victory for Plymouth here in the quarterfinals. Took nothing away from John Stark. Fantastic season. Again, their 3 losses in the regular season, all of them on the road, were perfect at home. You do lose that tough one to Sanborn, 23-20. That could have gotten you a little bit higher up in the standings. You could have been battling for that 4 spot. Generals will, unfortunately, unless something absolutely crazy happens, which you never know, will have their season conclude here in a minute and 7 seconds. Kick going up towards the middle. Parrish receives it about the 27. He's still on his feet and pushed out of bounds just shy of the 40. And a flag coming in late here after the play.
Flag down on the play.
Coming in from the referee. Good toss from the referee. Threw that one about 25, 30 yards. Personal foul there on John Stark, and that's just the passion in the kids, the frustration setting in. Unfortunate for them. So that's going to mark them back here. And put them at their own 31. Or correction, 15-yard penalty. So at their... Oh, we're going to go a ways here. Are there 2 penalties? Depends on where the spot. Looks like 15-yard penalty there.
Well, this is where some teams get a little chippy when they see the door kind of slamming on them, and it's unfortunate. It's understandable to be upset. It's another thing to not have the discipline to keep things on the up and up. So.
Sutkiss throws over the middle, finds.
Keep him in bounds.
Dykstra. And a timeout taken by John Stark. They'll have 1 to remain. 1 remaining, I should say. Easy for me to talk today. Words are hard today, Coach. You're right.
It started down at the donors brunch at Plymouth State University today. John Scheinman was finding it difficult to speak as eloquently as he usually does. He said this was just not a good talk day.
I'll attribute it to the clock turning back tonight, tomorrow morning, whatever you want to call it. It's the only excuse I could come up with. So we'll wait for confirmation probably on Monday, but expect the semifinal will be here for the Bobcats next Saturday. Most likely a 1 p.m. kickoff, if not a noon kickoff. We'll have full coverage of that right here on Pemmy Baker TV. 52 seconds to go. Stuckis in the shotgun. Parrish wide out far side. Intercepted fingertip catch by Cooper Legacy. Legacy returns it inside the 35, and that will do it here.
That was an absolutely great pick by Cooper. It looked like he was the intended receiver.
He's had a couple of big plays this season. Doesn't see a lot of action down in the depth chart, but he makes the most of it while he's on the field. We do have a Bobcat player down back behind that play. And with 40 seconds to go, Plymouth can take a couple of kneels here and survive to the semifinals. Can't see who it is down the field.
Well, this was a team that at the beginning of the season, I think there were a lot of questions. Who was going to step up? Who was going to fill the spot? I think also there was concern about some of the younger kids not really having a sense of the game, and that was something that concerned the coaches.
And it's Logan Marsh who is getting helped off the field. That's a big player. Hasn't been spoken of here today, but he's been a key factor for Plymouth this season, and not a great sign. I'm not going to speculate, but not a great sign when you're not putting any weight and you're being completely carried off the field.
His name is going to be one you're going to hear a lot next year, along with some of the other kids, because this is still a fairly young team, and a lot of the players coming back next year, and I think it's going to be pretty exciting in Bobcat country for the next year or two.
So there was a flag on Plymouth, and it's coming all the way back down to their 36. I completely missed that. So it'll be the interception, but penalties coming back here. And Plymouth going to their victory formation. I think they'll have to take one more kneel down. 40 seconds, so they won't have to. As both teams will head to the sideline. A hard-fought battle. Plymouth 14-0 at the break. John Stark really made it interesting here in the second half. Starting off with that trick play, essentially the lateral on the kickoff to start the third quarter, called back on a block in the back. But they had some great plays, some great throws over the middle. But it will be the second-seeded Bobcats that will advance to next week's semifinals. They'll be hosting Souhegan. And, Coach, you know that's one Plymouth wants because they want redemption from that one loss they've had this year down at Souhegan.
And I know that Coach Sanborn was pretty disappointed. He realized that the kids didn't play the best game. They made some mistakes, fumbles and whatnot. And Plymouth's just a better team than that. And it's not to take anything away from Souhegan because they're a good football team, obviously. And, Plymouth's going to have their hands full.
That's the end of the game.
But I do think that Plymouth does have
trash from the hill.
The artillery. I think they've got the game plan. I think they've got things to actually make that happen. But, again, it's going to be their best effort of the season in order to do that.
We'll see what happens. It's going to be a clash of titans next week. Be sure not to miss it. But that's going to do it for us here this afternoon. We thank you for tuning in. Final score here from George C. Zulius Field. It's Plymouth Regional 28, John Stark 8. Plymouth advances to the semifinals next Saturday. We'll have it all right here on Pemmy Baker TV. For Jack LaPierre, our camera operator, Coach here with me in the booth, Dan Salzer, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week and have a great, enjoy the clock turning back. Enjoy the extra hour. Have a great weekend, everyone.